My name is Rico, and I've had the luxury of sitting across the table from people making six figures and still living paycheck to paycheck. And I've also seen people making way less, quietly build real wealth. So the question is this: what's the difference? So in this video, I'm gonna break down the real gap between income and wealth and the mindset that decides which side that you're gonna end up on. So let's get right into it.
Every route tells a story. I was lost trying to figure it out. Came up with a plan and went RicosRoute. Yeah, I was lost.
If income made people wealthy, rich people wouldn't go broke, but they do. It happens all the time. I mean, I've seen it firsthand working with clients, people making real money, six figures, sometimes even more, and still feeling like they're stuck, right? Still living paycheck to paycheck, I guess you can say, right? Still feeling stressed because most people think that if they just had more money, everything is gonna be fine, right? That's the belief. If I can get the raise, if I can, make that six figures, right? If I can get the next big opportunity, then life is gonna open up, right? The next door, whatever it is. But what I've seen is that money doesn't fix the problem, it exposes it. It amplifies whatever habits that are already present, right? So if someone doesn't have control at $50,000 a year, they're not magically gonna have control at $150,000 a year. They're just gonna have bigger expenses, bigger obligations, bigger consequences. And that's where we start to separate these ideas between income and wealth, because they're not the same thing, even though most people view them, right? Treat them like they are. Income is what you earn. It's the money coming in, it's your paycheck, it's your commissions, it's your business revenue. It's active, it's constant movement. But wealth, on the other hand, wealth is what you get to keep. It's what you build. It's what stays. Wealth is the result of decisions, not just effort. And that's where people get tripped up, because effort feels like progress, right? Working hard feels like you're doing the right thing. But if the decision behind that effort isn't aligned, you can work your entire life and still have nothing to show for it. I sat across the table from people making good money, right? On paper, they look successful. Nice car, nice place, always busy. But when you actually break things down, there's nothing behind it. They have no real assets, no structure, no real control. Everything is just going out as fast as it's coming in. And then I've seen the complete opposite. People making less, right? Living more intentionally, making disciplined decisions. And over time, they build something real, something stable. Do you see what I mean? Something that gives them options. So the question becomes, what's the difference? And it really comes down to one thing: what do you do with the money you get? Every dollar you make comes with a decision attached to it. And most people don't even realize that they're making that decision, and it happens automatically. The money comes in and it's already mentally spent. Bills, lifestyle, going out, hanging out, upgrading things, keeping up with the Joneses, right? It's always like there's no pause in between earning and spending. But that gap, that moment between getting paid and deciding what happens next, that's where everything is decided. You're either living on what I call the now timeline or the future timeline. The now timeline is what you focus on today, what feels good right now, right? What looks good today, what solves immediate wants. And there's nothing wrong with enjoying your money, but the problem is when everything stays in that timeline. When every decision is based on the present, the future gets neglected. That's how people wake up 5, 10, 15 years later wondering why they aren't where they're supposed to be, right? The future timeline is different. It's slower. It's less exciting in the moment. It requires patience. It requires intention. But it's where wealth is built, because now you're not just earning money, you're directing it. You're telling it where to go. You're creating something that exists beyond the next paycheck, and the bridge between those two timelines is delayed gratification. And I think this is where a lot of people misunderstand what that actually means, because when people hear delayed gratification, they think sacrifice, they think restriction, they think they're not allowed to enjoy life. But that's not what it is. It's not about saying no forever. It's about saying not yet. It's about understanding that timing matters, because every time you choose immediate gratification, you're giving something up. You just don't feel it right away. The cost isn't obvious. It doesn't hit you instantly, but it shows up later in the form of missed opportunities, right? Lack of progress and being stuck inside the same cycle. The real cost of your decisions isn't what you pay today. It's what that money could have been. What it could have become. So it's your future self that gets crushed. And that's where wealth starts to separate from income on a deeper level, because wealth is built on the things that you don't see. It's built in the decisions nobody notices. It's built in the moments where you could spend but choose not to. It's built in consistency, not intensity. Most people are looking for the big wins, big moves, big changes. But wealth isn't built that way. It's built through small, repeated decisions over time. And those decisions are usually boring. They're not exciting. They don't get attention, but they work. And this is why you'll see people who look like they have everything and people who actually do have something. Because income is loud, it's visible, you can see it in a lifestyle, but wealth is quiet. You don't see it, you don't always notice it, it doesn't always show up in obvious ways, but it's there. And over time, it compounds into something that changes everything. So now the conversation shifts from money to identity. Because at some point, this becomes less about what you know and more about who you are. There are people who operate as consumers, all right? And there are people who operate as builders. Consumers use money to satisfy the present. Builders use money to create the future. Consumers chase the feeling. Builders chase the outcome. And the difference between those two is discipline, delayed gratification. So when you think about your own life, it's not just about, am I making enough? It should be about, what am I doing with what I make? And even deeper than that, what kind of person am I becoming through the decisions that I'm making, right? Because your financial self is a reflection of your patterns. I'll give you an example. You have two people. One makes $80,000 a year. They spend most of it. They upgrade their lifestyle. As their income increases, they're enjoying their money, okay? But there's no structure behind it, no real plan, no direction. The other makes $60,000 a year, but they're intentional. They invest consistently. They don't increase their lifestyle every time that they get the chance or if income comes up, but they understand that what they do today affects tomorrow. Let's fast forward 10 years. Who do you think has more control? Who has more options? Who has more freedom? It's not about who made more, it's about who managed it differently. And that's the part that people start to miss. Because we live in a world that constantly pushes the now. Everything is about speed, convenience, instant results. And that mindset bleeds into how people handle money. But wealth doesn't operate on that timeline. It requires patience. It requires thinking beyond today. It requires seeing the bigger picture. And that's uncomfortable for a lot of people because it forces you to slow down. It forces you to be intentional. It forces you to make decisions that doesn't feel good immediately, but serve you later. And that's why delayed gratification is so powerful, because it's not just financial financial skills. It's a life skill. It shows up in everything: discipline, health, relationships, growth, the ability to delay what you want now for what you actually want long term. And when you start to understand that, money becomes different. It's no longer just something you earn and spend. It becomes a tool that you either use or misuse. People do not have a money problem. They have a decision problem. They haven't slowed down long enough to ask themselves, is this decision helping me build something or just feel something? Because those two are very different paths. The truth is, the life that you say you want is gonna require decisions that does not feel good right now, period. That's the reality. There's no version of financial growth that doesn't require some level of discipline. There's no version of wealth that doesn't require patience. There's no version of change that happens without you doing something different than what you're doing right now. Okay? So this isn't about being perfect. but it is about being aware. It's about starting to question every decision that you make. It's about creating that pause between earning and spending and asking yourself, is this moving me forward or keeping me where I am? Because over time, those decisions are going to add up, and they either build your future self or delay it. So as you leave this video, I'm not telling you to stop enjoying your money, but what I am telling you to do is to be intentional. Understand that every decision has a direction attached to it, and start asking yourself, am I choosing now or am I choosing later? Because the version of you that you're trying to become is built by the decisions you're making today, and the only question is, are you willing to delay what feels good now, okay, for what you actually want in the future? So I hope you guys got something out of this video, and I'm gonna see you on the next one.
I was lost tryna figure it out. Yeah. I was lost tryna figure it out. Came up with a plan and went RicosRoute. Yeah. I was lost tryna figure it out. I was lost, yeah. I was lost, yeah. I was lost tryna figure it out. Came up with a plan and went RicosRoute. Yeah. I was lost tryna figure it out. Yeah. I was lost, yeah. I was lost, yeah. I was just down bad with the bag. Came across this page and now I'm seeing racks, yeah. Taught me how to invest it all in stack. Learning money, turn my hustle up to the max. Don't need a shoebox, figured out a new route. 6-month run, I can buy a new house. Building credit up, things I never knew about. I was riding in a Dodge, but I'm in a coupe, not straight swerving. All of the game that he's serving. Transform lives, wake you up to your purpose. God on the line and he told me that it's urgent. I find clarity, every dollar spent was worth it. Financial literacy, where we lack at. Move this, stack that, invest, get the racks back. You feeling lost, he gon' show you where the map at. Used to buy chains, now he got me buying assets. I was lost tryna figure it out. Came up with a plan and went RicosRoute. Yeah. I was lost tryna figure it out. I was lost, yeah. I was lost, yeah. I was lost tryna figure it out. Came up with a plan and went RicosRoute. Yeah. I was lost tryna figure it out. Yeah. I was lost, yeah.